countless students with learning difficulties, their problems arise within their first few years of schooling, which is a very crucial time in a child's life as they are beginning to mature and develop significant beliefs about themselves and their personal capabilities, which, if not being correctly addressed, can result in learners not adequately being catered for. The term learning difficulties is often looked at as an outcast within the education system. The terminology frightens not only teachers, but students, parents, and school community members, with many individuals pondering the correct use of the term, or even the more extreme, simply ignoring the term completely. Put simply, learning difficulties refers to students who can experience difficulty with learning in relation to any aspect of schooling which can affect reading, comprehending, inferring, questioning, memorizing, and recalling knowledge. In the classroom, the teacher can usually first identify a student who has trouble paying attention or appears to always be distracted compared to the majority of the class. This child could take an abnormally extensive time to finish classwork or seems to forget previous lessons' content. Perhaps they tune out to instructions, or the instructions just go right over their head, or they forget the task that has been given. All of these signs are students who struggle with attention difficulties. Well, what is attention? Attention can be broken up into 4 categories: sustained, divided, selective, and attention switching. Defined by the New South Wales Government, attention is a range of skills that are vital to the learning process which enable students to tune out unrelated information such as noise in the classroom and other distractions, concentrate and focus on the important information, keep track of where he or she is up to when interrupted mid-task, maintain effort over time, such as concentrating for a whole lesson, paying attention to more than one thing at a time, switching back and forth between activities quickly. When students are displaying signs of attention difficulty, it is crucial as a teacher to recognize that there could be several influences affecting the child. Not all attention problems are related to ADHD, which as a result, many educators automatically assume that if a child has an attention difficulty, that they indeed have ADHD, which is not always the case. Research suggests that a student who is displaying these signs could be unfocused due to anxiety or stress due to their home situation. They could be having trouble fitting in, or having trouble sleeping and appeared to be really tired and sleepy throughout class. Diet is also a contributing factor. All of these can affect a child's attentiveness. Regardless if labelled or not, as educators we need to ensure that we cater for all of our students' needs. So what does the legislation say? In Australia, there are several documents which entail the rights of students with a disability. This Disability Act, Standards of Education 2005 states that as educators, it is our job to ensure that all students with disability are able to participate in the Australian curriculum on the same basis as their peers through rigorous, meaningful and dignified learning programs in relation to educational settings and contexts, including specialist schools and support classes. The Disability Discrimination Act 1992 and the Disability Standards of Education 2005 are intended to give students with disability the same rights as other students, including the right to an education and training. It is our jobs as educators to work in conjunction with these documents to create an inclusive environment for all of our students, as it is unlawful to discriminate and treat people unfairly because of a learning disability. In the classroom, there are many signs to look for when making observations of a student who you might suspect having an attention difficulty. A student being unable to sit still or constantly fidgeting, someone who struggles with determination or motivation. They're having trouble remaining on task. They might struggle with instructions. Distractions from other students or the environment can affect their quality of their attentiveness. They struggle to filter out these distractions. These students cannot adapt to completing numerous activities at once, and when it is time to transition to another activity, they could resist or simply just disengage. They might struggle with pinpointing the important information and as a result, disregarding the crucial information. So how is attention assessed? As teachers, we cannot diagnose a child. However, we can simply make observations and give evidence to recommend assistance and treatment. Attention can be assessed through both formal and informal diagnostic testing. that unpack a variety of behavioural and standardised processes. The test of everyday attention for children assesses all 4 types of attention: sustained, selective, attention switching, and divided. The Conners Continuous Performance Test 2 is a repetitive computerized test which measures a range of attention abilities. However, the Conners 3rd edition likewise includes a survey given to both parents and teachers to assess the attention and behavioural problems. This assessment is commonly used in the diagnostics of ADHD. Also, the BRIEF, Behavioural Rating Inventory of Executive Functions, is used to test a high range of thinking skills, executive functions, and being able to predict future events. Also, the Child Behavioural Checklist Report Form is used to help teachers identify behavioural and emotional difficulties within the classroom setting. However, when deconstructing these testing options, it is crucial to remember that no 2 students are the same, and the students who share the same label should not be treated the same as all students. Therefore, as teachers, we need to cater and adapt our teaching strategies to provide an inclusive for all, to create a very, very inclusive teaching environment. So how can we cater for students who have attention difficulties? It is important to set up a teaching and learning environment and make correct curriculum modifications within the classroom, which result in fewer distractions for students. It is crucial to adapt and change your instructional teaching style to suit and support your students while focusing on the students' strengths. Provide a positive learning environment which promotes self-esteem and as a result will promote students' self-motivation and on-task behaviour. Using these strategies, it will enable a child with attention problem to gain social and academic skills over time. As educators, we need to consider that students do not need a formal diagnostic or label to provide them with the support that they need. It is through the use of effective teaching strategies and early intervention which will enable all students within your classroom to flourish and create an inclusive environment.